Nope, this is not clickbait. We're actually leaving France. Yeah, I know, before you say something, we are supposed to stay here until we finish the boat, but that's not gonna happen.
Hi, I'm Roberta.
And I'm Duca.
And after bringing a sailboat that was neglected for over 22 years back to life, we moved aboard, and for the next 2 years we explored the Brazilian coast and part of the Caribbean, where we got an offer that changed our lives once again. We sold our boat and we moved to France, where we are building our new 43-foot aluminum exploration sailboat.
And while the boatyard is building the hull of our new sailboat, we are learning the craft by converting a camper van to get ready to build the interior and all the systems of the boat ourselves.
So don't forget to subscribe and to join us every Sunday for a new episode.
Sometimes in life, things go wrong and then things go right, and you need to trust just the process and just keep going and hoping that somehow things are going to align, and you just follow the current, and here we are. We're moving to Belgium. Yeah, we're moving to Belgium. But let me explain you the full story in detail, because this is something that we want to share with you for a long time. If you're a patron, you know that for months already, but we're not ready to share publicly, but now we are. So, when we arrived in France for the first time, I don't know if you remember, we were sailing, we were in the Caribbean. We decided to come to France to visit Meta boatyard. And that exact day when we arrived in the boatyard, we saw one place that we started dreaming for months that we could build a boat inside, and that's this place. So Meta is this building. This is not Meta. This is owned by the same owner of the Meta building, but this is separate. And when we saw this place, we were like, man, that's perfect. We can build a boat there, the hull, the structure, and then we can move to this shed that's huge. We go all the way back. We can have a camper van, we can park inside, we can live on the camper van. I think I can show you the original footage from a year and a half ago when we first saw this place.
You give me the name of your YouTube.
Sunglass, yeah.
Yes, exactly, like this.
And you're gonna paint or just leave like this?
No, like this.
With sunglass?
Yes.
It's over. And like it's way worse than what we're at.
It's a nice idea.
So this is the shop next door. They built this boat, 3 brothers, and they're finishing it. So beautiful, it's so cool. Kiki, you're moving here.
Huh?
It's so beautiful.
I wasn't listening there. I was talking.
So it's also it's a school boat. They always sell boats like this if you want to.
Yeah, it's like a demonstration boat. They have a school boat on this one, and if you want, they can build the other ones. So they have 2 more holes.
A lot of nails and screws. This comes from New Zealand.
Oh, it's because how you want to live inside. So where are you from originally?
But I'll never find this anywhere. To all those places on the wall, and I'm coming close to this, I'm sure.
Ah, there's more.
Try to say the sunrise is sing. But tell me, have you ever danced in the rain? I could try to.
Easily.
Kayak.
I think it's finished. There's more. Impressions? Impressions?
I think it's really expensive.
Impressions?
Just the perfect. I just want to live on a shed. Literally, I think we should move there.
Yeah.
Duca always says that if he won the lottery, he would buy a warehouse.
And that's it. We found one. That's it. We just don't have the money to buy, but we can just live there.
I think it's the Taylor's Travels warehouse because there's campers and motorbikes and a boat in there. It's everything I need in one, and I'm gonna buy it right out from under Duca.
Under Duca.
So just a quick explanation. This is right now is rented by 3 brothers, French brothers, building a boat inside. They've been here, as far as I know, for 7 or 8 years. And they are almost finishing one of the boats. They have 3 hulls actually. So this and this. So they commissioned 3 38-foot hulls with Meta right before COVID hits. So they have 3 hulls. These are not done yet, as you can tell. It's just the aluminum part. But there is a 3rd one inside that is pretty much done. And since we arrived in France, they were supposed to finish that boat, because they have their other jobs. They work out and then they come, they stay a little while here and they go out and they come. And we knew that they were about to finish and about to leave because they're gonna move somewhere else, like North France or something. And we are just waiting, and we knew no, by the time our hull is done, this boat is done, and then we just move the boat from one side to the other. But it got to a point that the boat's moving and we needed to make a decision. We need to know where we're gonna go after the hull is ready. So we talked to them, and they're actually really nice people. Of course I asked to use their image. They're really cool people. We became friends, of course. They're really nice. They are building a beautiful boat, and I honestly asked, do you guys think you're gonna leave by September? And they're like, I don't know, we need to talk, maybe not. And then ends up that they decide to take the time and do it properly, like I would do anyways. I would do the same. And they decide to take slow and wait until the next year to leave. And that means we lost our dream shed. This literally was our dream shed. It's a big space. You could have the boat, the van. There is a kitchen inside, there is toilet inside, there is wood storage, there is fiberglass room, there is everything. And we were really sad. And for a while we decided, let's try to find a farm, like a cheap farm, maybe in Portugal, maybe even in France. And then we can move into the farm and we can build a shed, or maybe a farm with a shed. Yeah, before you say yes, this was inspired by run sailing. Yes, it was. Since day 1 actually, they know that. Day 0, before sailing on. So, what happens? Long story short, I strongly believe that in life, sometimes you do one thing and something completely different happens that you didn't even know. So you need to trust the process. You need to keep doing cool things and being positive, and somehow things align. And I don't know if you remember, but a few months ago we went to Belgium to visit BRoll, a manufacturer of woodworking machinery. And a lot of people said, why did you waste the time going all the way to Belgium just to build a simple table? You could buy a table, or you could just buy ready wood, or you could ask someone to build in France. It doesn't make any sense. And back then, for us, also didn't make sense, but it made sense. Because we knew that when you go all the way out of your way to visit someone, your relationship get much closer. And always when you get a closer relationship with cool people, cool things come out of that. So we went to Belgium having no idea what was going to happen, and it ends up that the owner of the factory is actually a sailor, and we became friends with him. And long story short, after 1 week there, he offered us one of the warehouse of the factory to build our boat. Welcome to the boatyard. And to make it even better, he offered us the old office building that is a pretty big house that is empty right now, not being used, for us to live while we build the boat. That means that simple trip that was just to build a table, why would you go to Belgium to build a table? Because things happen. That's the truth. We had no idea, we had no intention, and I'm honest, we had no intention of asking them to build the boat there. There is no way I would ask that. But somehow the conversation came up, and one thing led to another, and in the end, we are moving to Belgium. That's the truth. So we are moving to Belgium in real time right now, in 3 days. Actually, I just came from Belgium yesterday. I did the first trip to bring the whole workshop on the van, and my mom, because my mom's here with us now, and the van has only 3 seats, and we are 3 with Ollie now. So I drove to Belgium with my mom and a lot of things. I came back to France to pick up Roberta and Ollie, because today Ollie has the vaccines, and in 3 days after he's good with the vaccines, we pick up our stuff and we move full time to Belgium. But now you might be wondering, what about the boat? The boat's not ready yet. Unfortunately, the boat's late. At one point, we needed to make a decision and set up a date, because I don't like to tell someone, I'm gonna move to your house next week. And then next week I say, no, next month. And then next month I say, next month. And it feels like they cannot trust us. So we needed to set up a date, and the date is the 7th of November. And that's it. There is no way back. The boat is gonna still be finished here at Meta. I'm gonna try to come once a month at least. The boat was supposed to be ready in September, then it got delayed to October, and then November, December, and as of today, I hope beginning of January, like first week or second week of January. That's what they promise, but it's not something that is on my control. So now, you're gonna ask, what about the van? Yes, I know, the van is not necessary anymore. We are not gonna live on the van, we have a house now. And before you say, oh, you made a mistake. Maybe, yes, but no. It's always one thing leads to another, and if it wasn't for the van, we would not have the workshop in the Airbnb. If it wasn't for the workshop in the Airbnb, we would not be at a table. If it wasn't for the table, it would not be Belgium. What's the plan for the van now? For the past 3-4 months, we didn't do anything on the van. I mean, we did one project, that is to install the heating system, the Webasto heating system that we're going to show you later. And the reason why we didn't work on the van first is because it was summer here, and summer on the Airbnb there is always guests, and we feel bad to, use the table saw and the miter saw and everything with guests on summer on the Airbnb. So we could not use the tools, and it was not easy to work. And also because the boat was moving really fast, and I didn't want to miss the filming of the boat. And also because we knew that soon we would be leaving to Belgium, where we're going to have much, much better and professional machinery. So it makes more sense to finish the cabinetry, because the next step on the van is to build all the cabinets and then finish some installations, but the cabinets is the next thing. And if we have better machinery, it's going to be a much better result in a much shorter time. So we thought, why would I use bad tools now if I could wait just 2-3 months and then do it faster and better. And also because if we start building cabinets on the van, it means that we cannot transport everything we own. We needed an empty van to do the transport of all our stuff to Belgium. So the idea now is to try to build the van as quick as possible, to do a couple videos about the van, but not many and not in full detail. And then hopefully by January or February we finish the van and we can sell the van to put the money towards the boat. That was always the goal. We always knew that eventually we needed to sell the van, because we cannot afford to have a brand new van and a boat, and that was the plan. But now that we don't need to live on the van anymore, the plan can be earlier, because we can buy much cheaper and smaller car, because we don't need the van. And yeah, that's the plan. We moved to Belgium. We set the shop. The shop there is a space, but there is some work to be done. So it's pretty much like this. That is 3 sides are closed, but one is open. And in Belgium it's really cold on the winter, so that means we need somehow to close a shop inside of the shop. So the idea probably is to use recycled material, leftover wood from pallets and stuff that they have in the factory, because it's a really big factory and they have a lot of material that they're not going to use. And they're already saving some really long pallets for us to build the structure. And the idea is to have a closed shop that we can work inside on the winter, and the boat be under the shed but not fully heated, because otherwise it's just too much money to heat the whole place. And other than that, I don't know. I don't know 100% the details yet. What I know is that we have a house waiting for us. My mom is there already trying to help to organize things, because we have a little baby that it's everything at once. We just had a baby. We're moving country again. We're starting all over again, because yes, eventually next year we need to change our residency from France. Now that we have residency here, we need to move to Belgium, start all the bureaucracy again. But I think that's for good, because the place you're gonna live is a really, really cool place. I don't know if you heard of the city of Bruges. It's not even in the town, it's in the industrial area of Bruges, but the guys from the factory are just so awesome. They're really nice people, and we feel really, really welcome there. So it's gonna be just awesome. I think we're gonna take the time to build a proper shop until the boat is ready. Hopefully in January, we'll see. Now we're just dealing with transport companies to transfer the boat by truck from France to Belgium. I think it's like around 10,000 euros, but it is what it is. We are gonna save that on rent. Of course, if we took like another 3 months to get the boat floating and with rudder and engine, we could go by river all the way to Belgium, but I don't want to do that when we have a 2 months old baby. It doesn't make any sense right now. We need to just keep going and keep moving. We are really excited to share this news with you guys. It's gonna be a place that we can take the time and we can work by ourselves and we can organize things in a proper way, and it's gonna be really awesome. I just cannot wait to start building the shop in Belgium. And it's a pretty big place. It's like 12 meters by 12 meters, and that's enough space for the boat and enough space for good machinery. And also, much more than that, we have the support of Robin, that they're just awesome. They have a 3D printing farm that we can do things together. They have a lot of things that can help us build the boat. And more than that, they have just the vibe. Like, they're really cool people and they're really excited about us moving there. And I think when both sides are excited, that's when good things happen. And that's gonna be just awesome. But now we need to finish this boat. Right now, we still need to finish the roof. So the sides of the roof, it's in place. We need to finish the cockpit that they're working on right now. And then they need to build the rudder. They need to build the keels. They need to build the propeller shaft tunnel. The davits with the arch. Some accessories, the bowsprit. So they have some work to be done. Hopefully they can do that in 2 months, not more than 3. Yeah, so I guess I see you on the next one. I'm not sure how it's gonna be, when it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a next one.